Welcome to the January collective reading. This time, we're doing tea. I already drank the tea and turned the cup, and it looks like this. Let's just jump right in. When I do a tea leaf reading, I always start at the handle. The handle represents you as you are right now in the world. Immediately underneath the handle this time, there's a 3D relief frog showing up first. I love this for you. It's fantastic. Frogs are all about wealth and prosperity. It kind of means that you are entering the new year ready to rock and roll. The things are about to take off full speed for you. Now, immediately underneath the frog, there's a little bit of mucky stuckness. So you're ready to roll, but there's some things you're just not sure about. I think by March, that's going to clear up because the number 3 is hanging out right under there in a bracket. You know, underneath all of that, at the very bottom of that column of the cup, there is a dinosaur with a flower. Meaning perhaps something from the past that you haven't completely resolved or let go of has a gift that you don't realize is coming. And for once, the past is bringing you a good thing. From that point, let's jump into the emotional side of the cup. I always place just a little more weight on the emotional side of the cup than I do the material side. After all, how we see things, how we perceive our emotions, really colors how we see our material world. Now, we start off this side with, again, a little bit of blockage, kind of like you're in an emotional space that is a little bit stuck, but is getting ready to rev up and go forward. As we move into the emotional side, we meet 3 characters. There's a bird, a big cat, and the same dinosaur that we met in the first column. Birds are all about ascendance. Basically, this is someone coming into your world to lift you up and help you onward. Cats are about home. Now, maybe you literally have a cat, or maybe you don't. But either way, this is a sign that things at home are going to be good and stable and sound, because this cat, totally chilling, looking really, really good. Now, the dinosaur, literally the same exact creature that we saw in the other column. I think this means that this person, who you already know, not a new person, is definitely going to be playing a big role in January. Now, moving along on the side of the cup, next we meet the figure of a woman holding the letter U. So perhaps there's a female identifying person in your world that is kind of holding on to you. This could be a good or bad thing. Immediately beneath that, just underneath the woman holding the U, is an eye. The eye is emerging out of a bunch of scatter in this cup. So what I feel is that there's somebody who does have their eye on you, but you can't see it. Maybe you don't even know this person yet, but they know you. And it doesn't look creepy. It looks like a good thing. Back at the top of the column, there's another 3 and a question mark, as if by the time you get to March, there's definitely something that you're going to be thinking hard about. And it could, in fact, be a love matter. Now, remember, love can mean romance, but it can also mean family, friends, self-love, any other kind of love, pets. So there's going to be something coming around after a few months that's going to be sort of questioning your love. But I think that you're going to be able to get through this because there's a dragon coming in holding a basket. So dragons usually appear as rather fierce, magnificent creatures. This one is flying in right at the top rim of the cup, holding a basket. This is a good sign. Not only are you going to tackle any questions in your life powerfully, you're going to be able to handle them with plenty of resources as well. About midway back on this side, there's someone sitting at a desk with a squirrel watching. You're going to have to work. Everything good is coming your way, but you can't expect it to fall in your lap. You're going to have to sit down and do the work. The squirrel is there to tell you to save your nuts and seeds, that you are going to need to conserve your resources if you want them to last the long haul, especially in a professional capacity. Now, moving back into the end of the emotional sector, there are some really interesting configurations back here. So there is a large figure, a masculine figure, reaching around the side of the cup. It's really unusual. This particular cup had multiple figures that reached onto the outside of the cup. That does not happen very often. It's very unusual to even see one, but to actually see four is really, really outstanding. It means that right now, the path you're on is seriously, divinely guided. Keep listening to your intuition. Keep following your dreams. With this figure on the side of the cup, this masculine figure, he is wearing a ball cap and he is reaching around the outside of the cup as if to say he's reaching in from the other sides to help you out. Perhaps an ancestor or someone you recently lost is still showing up to offer guidance. They are attached to an inverse figure of a dog. This dog has a very long face and is definitely a good sign. When dogs show up, and there are two in this cup, they are always a sign of a loyal friend, someone who definitely wants to take your side. Underneath all that is a shaft of wheat contained within parentheses. So this is really interesting. Parentheses are another kind of unusual symbol to see in a cup. What I think this is about is that you have been laying down seeds, plans, thoughts for the future, and without you even knowing, inside the parentheses, these things are happening. The seeds are starting to sprout underground. They're pushing up towards the soil. The wheat is always a symbol of stability, of good things to come. It's almost like a positive success sign. So keep going. Even if during January you have moments where you're just not sure and you're like, no, just don't worry about it. Keep going. You've got this. The wheat is growing without you even noticing. At the very back end of the cup, this last column, is the area I think of as your future. This might be your future more than a month out, or even as far out as 4 or 6 months. What we've got here is a dog in a bow tie with an angel, the number 11, and a triangle with an opportunity, and a telephone. So let's break this all down. The dog in a bow tie is definitely a good sign. Someone is going to show up in your world, maybe literally a new dog, but who has great loyalty, is going to be a fantastic companion for you, and is going to be 100% a fantastic person in your life. Underneath of that, the 11. This is the first of 2 11s to show up in this cup. The 11 is a number that is basically saying things are going to go great. Triangles are always about new opportunities coming along. This is a great big one. And there's a small square showing up inside of it, meaning as you look at the opportunity, you might worry, is it too confining? Is it too tight? Is it too restrictive for what I need? Think about it. And underneath of that, a telephone. This is probably going to be a person reaching out to you about this opportunity. I think this opportunity might come to you from a great distance. It's attached to a person with a pack and a walking stick and a very heavy winter coat. It looks like they've gone a long, long way. They are really, really in it. And finally, the angel. In the teacup world, in my teacup world, this is the luckiest symbol. It means that you are being, in fact, guided divinely, whatever that means to you. If you believe that you have an angel or an ancestor or a god or a goddess or source power guiding you, this is it. It's showing up in the cup right here to let you know. And even better, it's wrapping around both sides of the cup, but the inside and the outside contain parts of this angel. It's one of the luckiest symbols I've seen in a very long time. Now, starting on the material side of the cup. Initially, it starts off with just a little bit of blockage. I think that there are things keeping you stuck that you don't want to think about. This is showing up as headphones over top of an anchor, as if you don't want to listen to the fact that you're stuck in a situation, either with your job, your home, your education, your material world, that's just no longer good for you. You don't want to see it. You don't want to think about it. Immediately after that, though, the number 11 shows up again, and a bat. The bat has come to clear away the past. This is a good sign. And the 11, once again, luck is on your side. The next thing to know about the material side of your cup, there's a bunch more really lucky things coming into play. There's a windmill. Basically, change is inevitable. The windmill's going to turn, the winds will blow, and change is coming. They might actually be bringing change to you from far away because there's a boat sailing in on an ocean. Underneath that, we have a female figure attached to the number 8, holding a large bow as if she's going to fire a bow and arrow. I feel like this is either a representation directly of a goddess like Artemis or Diana, the hunter, or it could be you. Maybe you, in fact, are the hunter. You are the one hunting for the bright new future. And I love that. The 8 could be a number that will be significant to you. Be on the lookout. Moving back into the second half of the material side, there is a really large centipede, and it is holding a figure that's just being squished in its hand. And that little figure is holding the letter U again. I don't like this, to be honest. I feel like someone in your material world does not have your best interests at heart, and you are, in fact, there's a possibility that they could deceive you. So be careful. Be careful who you trust in your material world, who you trust at work, who you trust at school. Someone is definitely plotting against you. And I feel like you might not see it because right after that, there's a mask. The mask is almost obscured in the cup by a whole bunch of scatter and other tea. So really, 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 during the month of January, especially the last half of the month, be careful, be thoughtful, pay attention to who you trust and who you say what to. Especially if you have some fabulous and exciting new ideas, maybe don't blab them around to everyone. Maybe hold that good stuff back for yourself and work on it quietly when you're alone. The last thing to mention in this cup is that the future does look bright. Despite this centipede and some of the other confusing aspects that are going on, this is really, really positive reading. And I think that overall, your ship is on the way in. I don't think it's arriving in January, because when I look at the bottom of the cup, there is in fact a ship floating on the ocean, but it's pretty far back in the cup. So hang tight, keep going, keep your ideas close to your chest, just like a card player, right? And remember that your ideas are sprouting deep underground. Things are going great for you. You do have some good, loyal people in your world, and you yourself are incredibly lucky showing up as a 3D frog in the beginning of the cup. I hope you have a great month. This has been a tea leaf reading for you. Here's the cup one more time. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you'd like your own tea leaf reading, please reach out to me at teandsmoke.com. Thanks for watching.